All right. I appreciate you guys locked in again, ready for a new video. As always, trade responsibly. Okay. So I just had this here because everybody don't watch my videos and I don't want everybody always aiming for the stars. Okay. Can't shoot for the stars all the time. Sometimes you have to have that build up. Okay. Because you do good trading and everybody runs into those ruts. And sometimes if you have an off day, you want to be at least control what you're losing. Now, my method of trading, I know some people do better with controlling what they trade. To me, it just takes all day. And generally, those people are trading smaller amounts and they're building up slowly and securely. If I'm gonna do it, I want to do it good and get done with it and keep it moving. But with that said, I'm gonna control it by, only keeping a controlled amount in my account. So, you can withdraw daily. You can trade what's in the account. This example here is just showing $50 trades, and I know it's showing four, but really three would be good with this process. That way you're not forcing things because even if you just kind of kept an eye on two charts, you could probably get about two trades. So you'll see the method soon, but you get about two trades on a full day if you're just following this one method. Um, so I haven't had a day where I couldn't find anything. At most maybe three or four, maybe four at most. The least amount that I've ever found on the chart is one, and that's generally because I'm cycling through others. So best practice you'll see when you see it, but find about four charts that you're used to that have a lot of movement and work them. Okay. But so that's essentially one trade per chart. so so it is a very boring method, but it's efficient. But again, don't get caught up with the big money. The small dollar amounts daily, it adds up. Okay, so this is an example, $184 a day, but even $92 a day, $100 a day if you're doing that 7 days a week. 2,800 a month. If I was to give you $2,800 at the end of the month for no reason, you wouldn't throw it away saying it's not enough money. Okay. So to each his own. I'm just saying with this method, I wouldn't really get into, the tens and the 15s and the 20s. I would kind of be closer to the 40, 50, 60 realm if you're starting off. And as you get more comfortable with everything, you'll move on up. So I appreciate you guys. I'm sorry it's been such a long time. I've been trying to upload these videos. I've done like six of these already and have had trouble. So enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Follow, like, subscribe, and tune into the video. Again, this is a strategy video only. Okay. I don't have enough. I had to get rid of everything in terms of my live trades to be able to finally upload. So when I get one, I'll show you like a start to finish. But it's like I said, it's kind of boring because it's 40 minutes, so you have to literally sit there as I scroll through it fast. I've already done it a few times, just couldn't get it uploaded. So, all right, I'll let this be, and you guys enjoy. All right, happy people, my people. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in. I'm just gonna take you through my trades that I did today. Um, I want to show you the strategy. I'm actually not. I'm having a hard time uploading these videos because I record all my sessions and I'm just kind of running out of space. So I had to delete, and then as I've been uploading these videos, trying to upload them to YouTube, I've been having data spacing issues and I've been wasting my time. So this is probably like the fifth time that I've tried to record this strategy. So I just deleted everything to get a strategy in. And I feel like the best way to show you this is just breaking down what I did today. So I can't, my sessions are like 40 minutes. So I got these three. I'm just showing you what I did in terms of entries. And yeah, we'll kind of go at it that way. The good thing about what I'm showing you, if you follow this to a T, you can go back to any day and verify it. So things that I show, it's verifiable that it works. You just have to apply it to another day. So I can take this back all the way 3 weeks and I don't have time for it, but I could, and I can show you that it does work. Okay, so it's very consistent. So the method that I use is 15-minute, 1 hour, 5 minute, 2 minute. Okay. So we verify, or we get a glimpse of an opportunity at the 15 minute. We verify that the direction we're going to be trading at the hour. We zone into the 5 for a more precise like entry. And then before we enter, we zoom in even more for a sniper entry. So that is literally what you're doing. And what you're using are all of these tools that I've been using. So by now, if you've been following my videos, you should know how to use them. Um, for every one of these time frames, we are not focused on every indicator. So for instance, for the 15 minute, what you should be looking at that catches your eye is the oversold area. Okay. So for the 15 minute, just know that it probably won't always breach the oversold. In this case, we're in a strong sell territory. And I'm sorry, I removed some of my moving averages because they were in the way. And I was trying to record earlier and I didn't have success. But anyway, so if you need the setup, I should be attaching them so that you have them and you can copy. Okay. The moving average, the channel, everything that I have. I'm not going to waste time with it because I don't have a lot of time. So I'm just going to explain what's going on here. So white vertical lines is the beginning and end. I'm sorry, the beginning and the end of my trading period. I trade at 5 o'clock in the morning, and there goes 5 right there. So I trade at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I won't trade past 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Sorry. So I won't trade past 6 o'clock, and the red is obviously the sell. The yellow is the beginning of the trading day. Okay, so always, always, always mark the beginning of your trading day, because when you wake up in the morning, especially if you're waking up at 5, if you want to get a quick glimpse of what happened yesterday without stressing yourself out looking at a crazy looking chart, you can easily. This is what you should be seeing from that white line all the way to over here. Okay. So I can see on the quick glimpse that yesterday this thing was been in the sell territory and it has not moved. It's just been a lot of ups and downs. So that tells me, honestly, I can trade both directions if I want to. But because of the distance between this area and my moving average here, understand the white lines are the sell. It's telling me that anything under here is a sell, anything over is a buy. So it's been under for a long time. So I should only be looking for a buy. But again, with this 15-minute process, trading both directions is fair game if um if you want to trade both ways and at least for 40 minutes. So this method is honestly a 40-minute method, and it has been working for me both directions regardless of what's going on. But what it doesn't work for are situations where you're like trading, or when the price point is just climbing up or climbing down. So this is understand that this is consistent. This is in the sale, but it's pretty much like in a consolidated state. Okay. So when it's in consolidation, you can go up and down, but with it being in sale, you'll have more success with down than up. Okay. And a lot of it is just timing. So that's what I'm practicing now, is just trying to find, those other opportunities by trading maybe 20 minutes is what I've been doing. So if I'm trading against the trend, the overall trend, like with this, and in this case, I'll be doing a buy, then I would put it in for 20 minutes. But uh, that is also depending on the chart that I'm using for recognition. So I'm not going to go too much into that today. I'm just trying to go into the basics of the process, because even with that, like, you should be successful and good. Today, I think I have 5 trades today, and my sixth one I was going to do here, but at 3 o'clock the market closes and I couldn't enter, so I had to stay out of it. But I did record this because I wanted to make sure that it would have hit, which it would have. But let me go into the strategy with you, and so you guys can get a feel for it. So again, based on yesterday, we got the overall sale. Wake up at the white line. So what do I see? I see consolidation already. Okay, so same thing, up, down, up, down. Those zigzags help you to identify that. So, and remember, based on my method, it's all about coming out the oversold area, or I'm sorry, outside the channel, getting pulled back in, and getting pushed back out. Okay, so that's how I trade. I just really I try to stay consistent. So let's get to it, man. I'm not gonna take up too much time with just talking. All right. So with my 15 minutes, with the 15 minutes, the thing that you should be looking for is oversold area touching. For 15 minutes, the oversold area may not exceed it. Okay, in this case, it does with the sale area because this has been in a sale territory, so it would obviously pull more harder in the sale than it would for the buy. So just understand that when you're trading, and that's something that you have to understand by like just experience. Okay, and then again, 15 minutes. So 15 minutes, it's not going to go up crazy and down crazy. And it won't do it even in the chart. So that's why it's easier to predict long than short because it really looks consistent. Also, this isn't Hakanashi. Okay, these are not Hakanashi candles. I'll show you this real quick. Hakanashi candles, if you pay attention to, yeah, if you pay attention to my red point here, you can see how different that looks. Okay, so if you can make that out, if you just, I'm gonna just do it one more time. So it's I don't know if you guys are able to catch it, but I can. It to me it's more precise looking at the candle. Okay, is what I'm getting at. Okay, so candlesticks, and then also it helps with using like your reversals and recognizing dojis and all that because with the Hakanashi, it's just giving you an average, and it doesn't necessarily like pinpoint where a candle opened or closed. The wicks and stuff aren't always clear, so it just kind of gives you an overall average like pressure of that candle as opposed to more accurate. So I like to see it. So that I use the regular candles, but to each his own. Just know that the indicators will look a little different. Okay. So 15 minutes. What I look for, so when I'm pulling up the 15-minute, what I look for is for the oscillator to be touched, and then some sort of curvature. All right. So it's touching here, and the curvature takes place kind of in between this area, but I'll move it to the middle because it's hard. So if you can see this dotted line, it's literally to the left is where I would focus. So you don't want to wait for the 15-minute. If you wait for it to touch, then by the time you get to the 5 minute, it already touched and it's crossed. By the time you get to the 2 minute, it's probably at the bottom of the oscillator at this point. So the object is to catch everything before it touches, right? And then by the 2 minute clock, you're waiting on the touch and the cross, if that makes sense. So the only way you can do that is by jumping in early, but you don't want to sit and babysit because this is 15-minute clock. So if I was to say, oh, well, it's getting close to the oscillator here and I'm focused here, this is 15 minutes, this is 30 minutes, this is 45 minutes, this is an hour. So in an hour of me now focused on this candle, um, I may have missed an opportunity somewhere else. So if you do that, you're going to be setting yourself up to miss, which is fine because you only need three opportunities. And honestly, even looking at this one, if I was showing you both ways, there's three here. Okay. So this 15-minute strategy works both ways, but if you're trading against the trend, you just have to be super careful. Okay. Um, Super careful. That's all I can tell you. Okay. But if you're trading with the trend, it's a lot smoother. All right. And again, so if you're trading with the trend, this would be the one. This technically would be the second option that I would jump into because it's at the top of the channel. And not just at the fact that, it hasn't touched the top here. So remember, it's gonna go outside. You want to work while it's in the channel, and if it's showing you reversal, if you're in a sale, go for it. Don't hesitate, especially in a strong sale where you have this much space in between. Okay. So sorry, I just lost it. So this is a lot of space in between, so it means it's a lot of pressure. So chances are it's going to keep going down. Okay. But anyway, the opportunity I went into 15 minutes again starts to curve out a little bit left of here. So hopefully that red line is where it's supposed to be. But before I go in for precision, I go out just to get a glimpse. So my glimpse is here. I'm looking at my glimpse is right here. It's hard. I'm trying not to cheat and show you, but I don't have a choice because that stuff is right there. So glimpse is basically what's going on for the day. Okay. So still showing that it's going down. So as you can see, it looked like little stairs. It looked like little stairs. So obviously it's going to go down. Okay. And again, this is a 40-minute trade. So now it's just about going back into it and finding out where to trade. So we're at the 5 minute now. So we're honing in to the most precise location to trade. Okay. So this could be a little bit easier to see because I'm zoning in. And what I'm looking for, so remember, this line was based on the 15-minute. Now, where is it forming? It's That'll be this candle forming at this point, right? So you're just being patient, but again, you have your timer, so I mean, this thing will be moving around slightly, and by the end of that timer, this one forms here, or this one will be forming. Then you're going to zoom in even more. And again, all you're paying attention to with these right now are just the oscillator, not the RSI, because the time frames are too large that the RSI is not going to be that accurate. Now, the only time I would pay attention to RSI is if it's looking like this. So if the RSI is on the bottom side, you don't want to sell because even though it did go back down, in the long run, depending on the time frame, you would have been, you know, out of luck. Okay. So what I prefer when it comes to RSI at the 5 minute mark, I want the RSI to be in the middle or a little bit above because I know there's room to go down. I don't want it all. If it's all the way at the top, that's good because that's equivalent to this where I know it's going to bounce. If it's like in the oversold, crazy looking area, I want it to go down first before I enter. But it all has to make sense with the chart. So, I mean, regardless of what, you'll see what it looks like and you just have to know when to enter. But again, you're not entering anyway based off of what you see here anyway. This is just a preference. Okay. So as we go into the 2 minute now, so remember we moved it here because this is now showing a cross, like a close cross where it's touching. So the green is still over the red. This doesn't count as the cross part. So now at the 2 minute, it may have already crossed. So at the 2 minute, yeah. So at the 2 minute, if you can see that, I would erase this MACD just so you can see it, but I need you to, hopefully you guys can see it. So you see the cross here. The touch is here, which is fine. This is still respectable. Cross occurred. It doesn't have to touch and cross all the way at the top. This is good. So it crossed already right where this arrow is, if you can see this. Okay. So crosses occurred. Now you are entering off of the 2 minute. Now, yes, this is ugly and showing consolidated, but again, it's about following like your process. So if you're going to follow your process, you have to live and die by it. I'm not too concerned about stuff like this because I have to trust my process. If I wait for it to go outside of it, I may not get it, you know? So if you aren't, I mean, and really this is the most, like I said, you have to follow your process. It touched the top. RSI is kind of it's a little bit above the 50, which is fine because this is still in strong sell territory. So 75 line technically is your new 50. Okay, so whenever you're in strong sell territory, that 75 acts as the 50, or that 50 acts as the 75. And if you're in strong buy territory, the 25 acts as, or the 50 acts as the 25. Okay, so just know that. So everything is telling me that it's going to go down. And the reason why we do 30 minutes is to allow all the stagnant work to take place. So as you can see, the white, yeah, my double white lines are blocking everything. Um, let me let me take them out just so you can see. Okay. So, um, so this is the point where you would enter. Okay. And remember, your preference in terms of entering is above the green or at the green. You don't want to enter at the bottom. Okay. So please don't enter at the bottom. If you feel like you're already at the bottom, just trust me, it's going to come back up. Okay. Just wait. Just be patient. You have to be patient. Okay. Or there's other opportunities. So maybe you just came in late, but regardless, don't force something if it's like outside of what you should be doing. Okay. But regardless, you see that this will work. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, and 40. Okay. So closer win. Okay. But it's obviously a win. Okay, so this would be the point where you would do your entry. Like I said, if you miss it, I mean, either way it would have worked out. But you know, if you wanted to hold off on it, then it's fine. But honestly, you got to take those chances. If for some reason you don't feel good about it, um, I mean, the next opportunity is until right here, but you're still following the same guide. So if you're looking at that piece, right, in terms of entering, because you say, hey, there's a lot of consolidation, and I don't feel good about entering at that point because it's just going back and forth, back and forth. So the next point where you would have an opportunity would have actually been, sorry, it would have been, no, that would, yeah, that's the next point. So they would have been there. And that's obviously would have worked. But if you're going to play that role, this is what you need to do. You have to scale back and just make sure everything else makes sense. Okay. So if you see that, okay, that's not that bad. So this is where you should have entered, but it's still kind of at the top. It's a little late, but it's fine. And again, this cross did not happen just yet, but it's fine. It's room to go down. It's room to go down. So you still feel good about a sale, but just to verify, still again, go to the 15. So if you're ever gonna not jump in and you're gonna wait that long to jump in, you just cross reference. Okay, big candle. Cross here. It crossed. There's a lot of room to go down. There's a lot of room to go down. That would have been your backup. Okay. So either way, that would have worked out for you. If you wanted to take the safer approach, I just showed you how to go about that. I didn't take the safer approach. I just took the first one. But if you want to do it that way, that's fine. Or actually do a longer time frame. Okay. So 40 minutes is cool. I wouldn't go so hours fine. An hour 25 works. I wouldn't jump into 2 hours too much, okay? Because 2 hours is a lot of time, and I mean, it will work, in cases where it's strong. Like it will work honestly, but you have to look. If you're gonna do 2 hours, you really need to look at this, okay? So if you were gonna do 2 hours here, just understand you're already in an oversold and it's starting to curve. So you may not have got 2 hours, okay? So if you were here and it was looking like it needed to, and you're talking 2 hours, then you would be great. Okay. But I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. That's not what I did. I'm just trying to show you guys different ways of going about that if you don't feel good about it and you want to wait. So if you want to wait, which happens, or sometimes you jump in and you jump into the chart too late and you miss the opportunity. Doesn't mean there's no opportunity. You just have to do some further checking. Okay. But when I check for opportunities, I base it off of the 15-minute clock. If I'm looking at a 5-minute clock, I can do that too. So if the oscillator's touching at 5 minutes and I'm just cycling through, charts real quick, and I see something is on the oversold line or near it, then I'll go to my 15, I'll go to my hour. If it all makes sense, then I'm starting the process over. Okay, like an actual trade. All right, so you got that one. That was the only one that I did. Like I said, the I had one here, but I due to the chart, the market closed, and I wasn't able to take advantage. So I'm gonna go to let me go to the other one when I only had one, so I can get that out the way too. And I'm not going to do this on a 5 minute because that's going to take forever. All right, so same deal, right? So beginning of the day, beginning of my trade day is in white, beginning of the actual day in yellow. And what do I see? I don't know because I took my moving averages off. All right, so moving averages are back. So as you can see, we're in a buy territory now from the prior day, and I already erased it, I believe. Yeah, I did. So prior day, I'm just gonna do the yellow. So prior day, we are here. So prior day consolidating in the buy territory. It's kind of going downward, but it's nothing aggressive. So I'll just say it's selling in the buy territory. Okay, which is cool. So I'm expecting a retracement because why? Because the prior day it hit from the top, went down, bounced up some. Again, each of these are an hour, so that lets me know opportunity, opportunity. Then it goes down. and it's showing that it bounced up again. So opportunity, opportunity. I don't trade this late, but I'm just saying. Then it's going down again, and I wasn't up at this time, but opportunity, opportunity. So what I see is zigzag showing that it's going to go and continue up into a buy. Okay, so quick recognition, right? So just kind of starting out the day, I'm looking for buy opportunities only, not sell. So, why do I? I'll explain here. So, um, this was a situation. So every once in a while, you run into a situation where it kind of stays at the top like this, or it stays at the bottom, and it's not a lot of up and down, up and down. So you got to find the best time to really jump in. So, this opportunity was not based on the 15 method per se. I actually caught this doing the 5 minute method, but I'm going to show you the 15 method and how it works. I'm not going to go into the 5 minute 20 something session method, 25 minute. So so I'm gonna just show you how this works anyway, because this works under the 40 minute as well. So I don't want to teach anything different. So we're over to yellow or over to white, the double white. So let me just take off one. We're over to double white. Um, And so technically we're in a buy, but because it's kind of like been consolidating, as you can see, it looks like it can go into a sell. So you have actually a free fall where you can take advantage of both. I caught it on a buy. You could have caught it on the sell here. Like I said, I trade both directions, but in terms of being more certain, it's best to trade with the trend. Okay. So oscillator touches at the bottom and bounces upward. So my focus point is right. I can't get it based on this showing, but it's right where the blues line is. So that's where I'm going to focus. Again, RSI is at the top now. Not a lot of room to go up. So what does that tell me? Shorter time frame. But I'm not going to go into shorter time frames with you. I'm going to just show you that it works for the 40 as well. So 5 minutes there. And MACD, we're not paying attention to that. All right. So MACD obviously is showing sell. And there was a recent cross, but that is fine. Okay. The only time, and I'll tell you this right now, the only time you don't want to get involved with that is when you're like near the cross. So I wouldn't go into a buy near across the front where it's crossing red over green. Because, I mean, if it works, it's a lucky win. Chances are it'll continue down. Okay. But once you're a little bit further away from it, I'm not too concerned. Okay. So 5 minute. So as always, we scale out just to make sure we're paying attention. So the hourly, so yep, showing clean and going upward. So I have this, and then I see there's some sort of ceiling here, but that's fine. Um, that's why I did the shorter time frame, but also because I see the RSI has room to go up. Okay. So I'm not sweating it because it's been in a buy for a minute. So then we go to the 5 minute. Okay, so for the 5 minute. So it comes to your attention at this point, right? So you saw that under the 15 minute. This is where it drew my attention. So I'm not going to zoom in at this point because it's still going downward. I want it to smooth out and start to show some direction of going up. Okay. So to the right of this dotted line is where this vertical line is. And if you see that, this is at the exact moment where it starts to go up. So kind of in between these two pieces or charts. And again, this is why I'm going to show a live session so that you can see the charts actually forming. Because it's not going to just look like this cleanly. So you have to be able to identify it. But that is the beauty of having the timer enabled because you can probably map out in your head what the candle's going to finish at the exhaust of this candle. Okay. So 5 minutes, 2 minutes, jump in. I can find it. There we go. So there. So this is a perfect setup. So 2 minutes is here. And as you can see, like I told you guys before, at the 2 minute mark, so ideally you want to catch it before the cross on all time frames, and then as soon as it crosses, jump in at the 2 minute. That is literally the process. So 2 minute crosses here, and this is where you would enter. Okay, so when you enter, it would actually enter under this. one, this candle, not the red one, technically speaking. Or actually, yeah, technically speaking, that's correct. So the dotted lines are right over the cross and it's pointing upward. And how do you see everything else? So the RSI at the bottom has room to go upward. Oscillator at the bottom is going to go upward. If you're focused on MACD is important, so I haven't had to mention it lately, but that's my last reassurance. And I'm sorry because again I've recorded this so many times that I've said it on other conversations and uh, through here without saying it on this one. So in terms of order, RSI acts first. Oscillator follows RSI. So what I mean by that is the RSI is going to pitch up first before the oscillator pitches up. And then lastly, the MACD pitches and crosses. So if you're looking for crosses, you got to pitch up, you got to cross here, then the MACD is going to cross, and then the chart is going to cross last. So you don't want to wait on the chart to cross, otherwise you're too late. But if you understand that order, it'll let you know that, hey, like, yeah, it's still going to give me some pushback, but like once this crosses on the chart, like it's gonna force its way up, which it does. So it crosses here at this point, and it actually crosses here. I'm sorry, at this point, it meets at this green, it crosses at the red because it's going to get a little stagnant in this between that time frame, and then it's going to push on its way on up, right? And so if you're doing 40 minutes, what do we have? Two, four, I'm sorry, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30, 2, 4, 6, 8, 40. Okay, so you're coming in low as possible and you're finishing up in the channel. So 40 minutes is good. So you can really get an idea of time frames if you're following. I don't know what method you want to use if this time frame is too slow for you. But I've tried them. I've mixed matched 30 to 10 to 1. I've done the seconds. This is really the most accurate where they all come to play. So that's why I do the three trade method. Like I said, if I get four, then that's great. If I can get five, then that's even better. Um, I don't trade after that. I'm done. Okay. I don't even trade after four. It's just five would have to, the fifth one, like today, would have to jump out at me and I would take that. Okay. But so you have that, right? So trade is good, as you can see, following that same method. Very easy to understand, very easy concept. The hardest part with this, again, is just having the patience. Okay. So remember, if you're going to enter, if you get wind of any of these kind of at a like late, just please, please, please don't enter at the top of the channel if you're going to buy. You want to enter near the bottom or at least at the middle. Okay. Because if you enter at the top, I mean, as you can see, just what's this? So these are 2 minute trades, right? So, yeah. So we entered here. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So if you come into this thing 10 minutes late and you enter here for 40 minutes, you probably aren't going to get it. Okay, so from being 10 minutes late, you lost you some money. It's not worth it. Okay, and then as you can see as well, it's at the top. So this is the other part. Like, don't enter a buy at the top, even though it's going to continue to go up. It might be a timing issue. So if when I do run into those situations, I'm not encouraging you guys to do it. Stick to the process. But instead of doing a 40 minute, I might do an hour and a half to buy enough time. Okay. But the trick is to make sure you don't have too much time because if you do that, um, well, yeah, I guess you're good anyway. But just try not to have too much time, okay? So please limit your time. Be smart and make that money, man. So I'm gonna go to the last example because this is really where I ate all day. This is what fed me all day. It wasn't this one. Let me get out of some of these. Wasn't this? Yeah. Oh, here we go. I'm blind. So this is the one where I made my opportunities work. Okay. And I missed the opportunity. Goodness, that's irritating. So you see in the method, you see how this works, right? Would have paid attention there. This is 15, 30, 45 minutes. Ah, goodness. All right. Let me not get upset. And this would have been in my 6 o'clock round because I missed the 3 o'clock earlier because the market closed. But I technically would have been trading if I wasn't recording. Goodness. All right, but anyway, you see how it works, right? This is a very simple concept. So I'm gonna go through three more with you guys, and hopefully you appreciate it. So woke up on this one. This was my breakfast for the day. So you get the concept, but I'll just go over it again. Start your prior. You should be having a prior date up already. Keep just the prior day. You don't need to go beyond that. It's just overkill. Okay. Um, and the good thing about going through the prior day, if I can find it, does it say the 8th? Goodness. I should have did this at the hourly. This is irritating. So I don't know how much time I got left where it gives me a hard time. So good thing about looking at the prior day like this, you can see what kind of it sets the expectation for you. So personally speaking, when I get in these, especially like at the beginning of the week, I'm looking for like these types of trades, like where it's a lot of ups and downs. Okay, so if you have your prior days up, um, you can identify this and it'll kind of give you an idea what three you should be clicking on at least. Understand though that these 92% change throughout the day though. So the returns aren't the same. So please don't just blindly stay in them because I mean, I did it a few times where, I got like 30 something percent because I wasn't paying attention and it's upsetting. Okay. Waste of money, waste of time. So, anyway, win is a win. I should be appreciative, right? So, wake up in the morning, 5 o'clock again, right? Same morning, obviously. And the entry. So, and this is the other thing. Like I said, with this, I think I was telling you guys in terms of funding account, don't put a bunch of money in. Still don't, but give yourself about two trades, okay? Because you can have two trades going at once, and that makes life a lot easier. Because then all you need is one more and be done. Okay. So sometimes you'll have like overlapping running trades. So anyway, back to process. Oscillator is showing. Okay, so when I was asleep, it was in the sweet area. So this is a good time and it actually just crossed. So it's fine at this point. At this point, I know I'm late because it already crossed and the green is over the red, if you can see that. So it's fine. It's the beginning of the day. How do we remedy that? Put in more time on, just being honest. But what are we going to do? Verify first. So buy, consolidation here is what I can see and still consolidating. And then I would have this one candle forming currently. Okay. But the beauty of this at the hour mark, it's at the RSI is at the bottom. All right. Not the RSI. The oscillator's at the bottom. So by the oscillator being at the bottom, I know this is going to push up. Like I know it. Okay. Am I going to jump in blindly right now? No. I'm going to still do the precision entry. But if it ever is like I mean, you can see this. If it's ever touching and breaching, it's going back down. So this is buy territory. It goes down. So once it breaches, is really what you're looking for not just at the top and going straight. Okay, you want to wait for it to come down if it's doing something crazy like this. On the hourly, this is where you're focused. Okay, because I mean, even if you're uncertain where to jump in, if you throw in 2 hours or something, looking at least one form candle, then you'll be in a good place because you have to factor in, you have to figure that it's going to go not all the way to the bottom, but down enough. Okay, so it's really easy to trade if you're looking at it like that. Sometimes it just takes a different eye. Okay, but anyway, back to what we were talking about. So for this blue line that's matching the white, I'm gonna zoom in because the oscillator is showing that it's at the bottom. So I'm gonna go to the 5 minute, and like I said, um, the cross had already occurred. Okay, so I'm not really not expecting it to not be crossed here. So ideally where I would be jumping in is like here. Nope, sorry. Well, I shouldn't say jumping in. I should be zooming in. Ideally, well, I can't even say that because I have to look. Let me try. Sorry, this is a teachable moment for myself. So just in case you run into one of these situations. So this is the ideal based on what. No, I'm sorry. No, no, no. I've been talking about pitching upward. I'm losing track of what I've been talking about. So it's not just a cross. I'm sorry. It's pitching upward. So it doesn't have to cross per se, but you just want it to pitch up. So right here, it is crossed, and I mean I guess it pitches up. So let's just go back to it. Either way, the time is fine. It's just more so what I'm trying to do is show you precision. So it pitches up there, like in between these two. Let me go to the 15 and see what that looks like at the 15 mark. Because I was asleep. Okay, sorry. So I was asleep. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't have, so you wouldn't even looked at this at this point. You wouldn't have looked at it till like right, yeah, to really right around the time that I was waking up. So to the right of this dash, when it's close is where I would have been focused anyway. So just going back to the 5 minute. Sorry, I'm just doing this for myself now, more so just for precision. All of these would have worked anyway. I'm just showing you. So okay, so I'm gonna just give both scenarios. One, because I wasn't up. So if I was up, and let's just say I took that one, this ugly green. Um, I'm gonna zoom in from here because they're both showing the same thing, right? It's curving up, and then this one curved up. It's just that I was awake for this one. All right. So long story short, don't wake up prior to 5 o'clock in the morning. They'll send you off. But we're going to the 2 minute. And remember, these are 40-minute trades. So at the 40-minute mark, still would have been in a good place. But let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30, 2, 4, 6, 8, 40. So would have worked out anyway. Because the candle that you would have entered on, you would have had to enter before the halfway point. So again, remember, don't enter at the top of the channel. Stay near the bottom or near the bottom or definitely under the green. So if you did that, you would have been straight. If you didn't, then I think you would have got it anyway because I can see the dashes here. So you would have got it anyway. But that's not where I traded, so I'm gonna erase that. I was just doing that for myself. So as you can see, curve here, and then it crosses on this first green one. Okay, so it crosses here. So I'll just say the top of the green because I don't I don't remember exactly where it was. I can't remember if it was this one or this one. Yeah, I think it was this one. Because it was before it entered the channel. So same thing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 20, I'm sorry. 2, 4, 6, 8, 30, 2, 4, 6, 8, 40. So one of these, or even this one, depending on how late you were. But as you can see, obviously, easy win. Okay. So very simple process. And if you were to be greedy and follow same method and jump in here, you'd have been lucky to get it. I don't know if that would apply, if that would have, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing it that way, but if you did, I mean, yeah, you would be going against your process. So 5 minutes, yeah. So it would have worked out for you, but I don't risk all that. That's too much. And then I did do a sell in the territory as well because again, based on what we saw, I'm not going to go back into the hourly because we know that we're in strong buy not strong buy territory, but we're in the buy territory. But at the 15 minute, it touches, it gets close right around this red is where I would pay attention. Zoom into the 5. And at the 5, it's actually a perfect spot because it's already crossed. We missed this area. So by focusing in where we did, we missed the fluff, right? And we have the most optimal point. That's why it's very important to recognize how to recognize that 15-minute close end as opposed to just jumping in as soon as it gets close because then you would have entered here and messed yourself up. Okay? So follow the directions. Trust me. Jump into the 2 minute. Get the cross. And I don't even have to tell you. You guys can see it here that it would have won. And then I'm gonna go into this last example, but as you can see, um, so again, you enter on a two, not here, but it's still the same part. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So solid, solid, solid win, guys, solid win. So, and then the last one that I did was back in the buy territory, okay? Because same thing, oscillator activated, starts curving up here. It actually curved in this area. So sorry I can't get it, but it's between these two dotted vertical lines. So zoom in to the 5 minute. Again, no need to go back into the hour because I'm only working on three charts and I remember what's going on. So here, if you can see to the right, it's still pitching downward some. So 1 over would be crossing. So right here is where it crosses. And then we're going to enter on the 2 minutes when it pitches up, which would be this candle. Okay. And as you can see, without me counting, another win. So follow the process, practice it. I mean, I just showed you the tools, so go over the video as much as need to understand it. I'll show live trades on the next one again. Sorry, I can't mix it all up on one because I've done this, like I said, 5 times already, and it keeps rejecting it. And I mean, I think I got this one fine, but I just don't want to keep recording the same stuff. It's time consuming and I'm missing money. Okay. So I appreciate you guys. Until next time, but if you appreciate it, like, subscribe, reach out to me, hit me up, let me know. At some point, I mean, because how things are looking, I'm probably going to be in a position where this will be, 100% of the time. And at that time, I'll probably be, introducing more one-on-one training, for a cost, of course, but I'm not trying to make money off anybody. So don't worry, it's not going to be $500 a class, or not a class, but a month. If you want that one-on-one time, it's definitely going to be affordable because I don't need to gouge people with how this is taking off. So I just want to help. So that way you keep your money in your pocket, you work with me and refer me on, and you move on with your life and keep following the page. But until then, like I said, I'll probably find another. Like I said, when I hone in on this 20-minute concept, that'll probably be the next time I post strategy. If it is 20 minutes, like I said, I'm just trying to find a perfect time with that. But I'll probably have one more with that, and after that, I mean, I'll be recording sparingly. I think I left enough out here for you guys to use. So if you need me, reach out, follow me, like, subscribe, friend me on Facebook. I don't be on IG like that. Appreciate you guys. Take